we're just humans, and we're using an iPhone hooked up to a thing on our windshield. So if you see a lot of bouncing or vibrating, it's because we're just humans. We're not pros. We're not professional photographers. We're not professional producers.
This isn't a real reality show yet.
This is just us.
That's a good show name.
This is just us. So this is the first episode of This Is Just Us.
Look at all that bouncing.
This is just us. Publicly told the story.
Yeah. So also, just some clarification. I don't know. You can edit this out if you want or not. But just so everyone knows, I think that people think that you're probably like, hey, we should put all of our business out there, like in all these videos. And honestly, every video that we recorded, like of our relationship together, has been my idea to put.
That's so true.
What's going to be in it and what it's about. So just to like clarify for all of the people who think that Anthony's probably forcing me, like that's his personality. I'm just saying like Anthony is respectful of my privacy because I am the more private one of the two of us. And so
that's a good point. I didn't even think about that until you said that.
Thinking that wow, Anthony just wants all their business out there.
There probably are people. I probably have personal friends that are probably thinking that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Anthony's making her do all these videos.
That's not the case.
That's surprising, actually, to me. I just realized, like, oh yeah, that's true. I'm not.
No, but it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that God's like, that's one of my like guilty pleasures is reality TV. I love. But it's not even reality TV. I just like to watch people do regular things. When I was
like that show that does the Alaska, or no, not the Alaska. They're in North Pole. Yeah.
Well, when I was in college and the flag, gosh, my brain. I've had very limited sleep.
Yeah. She decided to surprise me and come and see me on New Year's Eve.
When people flag.
When they flag. Oh, like
color guard.
Color guard, yeah.
Thanks, God. I would sit, our window to my dorm was right, where they would practice sometimes. So I put a chair, there's a picture of me.
She went to Marshall.
I put a chair and would just sit and watch, because I like to watch people. Whenever I watch people, get their hair done, I'm getting my hair done, it entertains me. So, anyways, I think, I don't want to be a reality TV star.
No,
that's not what I'm saying.
But I think it's just I think it's nice to get to invite people like we get to invite them into the story.
Yeah. And to actually be real.
Yeah.
That's how people are
that's
saying,
important.
Whenever you watch reality TV and it's if I ever did that and they're oh, can you actually redo that moment and do it a little more like this big? No.
But that's why this is just us.
Okay. So, all that to say, and for anyone who doesn't know me well, my storytelling tends to rabbit hole a little bit.
Which is also why we're similar, because I'm a farmer, and if you've ever met Britt Farmer, my dad, he's the king of rabbit trails. We could create a whole rabbit colony with all the rabbits that he chases. They all just need to be killed. I like when Randy Clark Randy Clark, oftentimes, when he's chasing a rabbit, he'll just go, "Pow, shoot that rabbit, kill that rabbit."
So.
No rabbits.
Our proposal story.
Proposal story.
So, and everybody likes a good story.
It was a nice sunshiny day.
Yeah. Feel free to interject anything you like.
Okay.
November 7th is the day. And I got up that morning and I went to sit on the back deck to have some quiet time. You can just tell that land has just been saturated with
Wayne and Susan's house? Yeah.
God's presence. Like, it's so easy for me to hear from God there. Like, as soon as I have my quiet time there, every time, it's pretty much like I just get something immediately. But I sleep so good. This is peaceful and restful. I was praying that morning before I started reading, and I had a really cool prayer. Like, God was showing me some sweet things just in what He was bringing up in our conversation. And I really mean that, because people have been pointing out to me a lot, like, the way I pray is, anyways, very conversational. I think that's why, like, we just have good talks with each other. Like, wow, thanks for pointing that out to me. But that morning, I was talking to God and said, I could look at you all, but also bear with me because I am tired.
Also, be loud, because I think, like,
all this noise.
Yeah. Your voice is so quiet.
It is.
You don't have to yell.
What God's gifted me with.
There you go.
It's called meditation voice.
It is. It's very peaceful.
Yeah.
She reads a lot to me, or like we'll pray, and when she prays, I just.
Yeah. Wow. So I was praying. We could probably cut out a lot of that before that too. But anyway, I was praying that morning, and I was sitting there, just talking to God, and He was teaching me things about us as people, and like His relationships with us, and the way that we're all uniquely. I don't think even on this video that in my car, I could hear myself really clearly in the car.
Okay.
But it was like, as long as I was talking for real, like I could tell later when I was in public and try not to talk loud, that's when I was quiet. It's just this voice. It's the way it's made.
Yeah.
But when I use my teacher voice, people listen. It's like, what is, Mackenzie calls me teacher share. So I can get everyone.
There's a rabbit. Kill the rabbit.
Okay, it's because I was thinking about starting over. Alright, this is me on task. I'm like making a signal that that's where I got on task in the video.
We're not going to cut it, because this is just us.
Okay, this is just us. Okay, fine. Anyway, I was talking to God. Then I said in my prayer, I said, I know that I thought that I was going to get proposed to on this trip, but if it's not supposed to happen, I know that you talked to Anthony very clearly, and he will listen to you. And because also, like, we only see each other certain times,
once a
unless
month.
Anthony's planning on proposing to me over the phone, you know.
I thought about it.
I could limit
I thought about
it.
having the ring shipped to you, and you just being on the phone with me when you open the package. And
that would have been cool.
that's kind of. I wouldn't have done that though. Like, that's so
different.
so impersonal.
Oh.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Poor lady.
Aw, that made me feel sad.
There's a cop. There was a lady being pulled over on the side of the road. There was a drug dog going around the car. There's like 3 sheriffs. So, Lord, just bless her, comfort her. Let this be a potential catapult in the direction that you have her to go, and let her know you. Yeah, thank you, Jesus. Anyway, so
yeah,
you had
there
told
was, like,
God
things that I could limit it to, and my trip in December wasn't booked yet, so like I knew it was like October or November. And I was thinking, which I might have only said that to you once, like out loud, about the date thing. Like, oh, well, maybe that's what that date really was supposed to be.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, like, God had given me a really clear word about the number 7 and 11 being important in my future wife. And this was back during Randy Clark when my ring finger got healed, because my ring finger used to be like that, like at the end. And it got healed at Randy Clark conference last year in 2025. And anyway, I had that same trip. My friends Veronica and Annie were with me from my revival group, and I told them, I said, God just told me that 7 and 11 are important for my future spouse. This is well before, this is 6 months before I met Sharnice, so, or 4 months before I met Sharnice. So anyway, 7 and 11.
7 and 11.
So 11 on 11/7 is when I was proposing.
And but then I was like, well, now we have this trip in December, so even if it was like, maybe it's just a timing thing, like you just shift when it's supposed to be, however it's supposed to be. So I was just talking to God that morning, and like, if that's when it's supposed to happen, like, I'm cool with that, it's fine. And I read and all the things. So Anthony, while I didn't know what he was doing, he was preparing to propose to me, off gallivanting.
That morning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I got up early that morning, and I wanted to wash her feet as like first thing I ever did as her fiance. And so I filled up this big giant bucket full of hot water, which I don't know why I felt like I needed to fill it probably way too full. I didn't need that much water, but I filled it pretty full. I put a bunch of oils in it. Thank you to Young Living. And I literally held the bucket like this, driving with one hand down the road, about 3 miles down the road to where we were going to be, to set it up. And so it was scalding hot water, because I knew if I got it there and it was scalding hot, then I knew, like, by the time we got there, because we were going to go have coffee first and all that, but by the time we got there, it would be cooled down enough. So I was off that morning, and I turned my location settings off so that she couldn't see on Live 360. And this is the fun part. I called my mom, who always looks at my Live 360. Love you, Mom, if you're watching, you know I love you. But my mom is like constantly looking at my location, and she knows when I leave town, and anytime I'm not where I'm supposed to be, which I do
not
need.
Like that.
I need that. Yeah, not where I'm supposed to be. Like, it's according to the schedule that of where she thinks I'm going to be. But anyway, so I told my mom. I called her and I said, "Hey, I'm turning my Live 360 or my location off, but I want you to call me," because this is totally something my mom would do. And I said, "I want you to call me, and I want you to say, hey, I noticed that your location was off." I said, because I'm about to pull up to pick up Sharnice, and I want her to think that I didn't know that my location was off, so she doesn't like get suspicious that I was out, preparing to propose. It was like I was off doing something bad, but I was off like doing something really cool. Anyway, so my mom called me right as I was walking up. Oh, and another thing, I had asked the Lord, I had prayed and said, Lord, I didn't know what to wear like that morning. So I put on this shirt that I was given. It's kind of like an olive colored Adidas polo.
More like mint.
Maybe mint. Yeah, maybe mint's the right color. But like I put this shirt on, and I said, okay, Lord, I'll know that today is the right day to propose if Sharnice is like complimenting me with her outfit, or if it matches. And I walked up, and literally the first words out of her mouth were, "Oh, we're kind of matching today." And I was like, "Oh, thank you, Lord. That's confirmation. Amazing. Praise God."
Yeah. And I did think, not because I'm like stalking Anthony. I don't know if it's automatically set to do that or not for you, but like whenever he leaves home or gets home, it tells me, and which is honestly helpful too, because then I know, like, not in the moment, but like if I'm working or getting home or like doing a bunch of stuff, then I know, doing something. So that is the one thing that is helpful about Life 360 is that we're not stalking each other. And I am normally like by myself late at night a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, because I am alone. And that's when I don't know why, but I like to grocery shop late at night. I don't know. And then
Any other
find
ladies that
everybody.
like to grocery shop late at night?
And I don't know, it just
that a
feels
lady
right.
thing?
Like after I get off of work, it's late. And anyways, so my brain did go like when you showed up. I was thinking like, well, it'll tell. Like I was thinking, I'll know about how much time I have before we go get coffee because it'll tell me that you're on your way. Like Anthony left home, or the Genesis house, and it didn't do that. So when you pulled up in the driveway, I thought that's weird that it didn't do that. But I didn't think it was because you were like had some like plans. I was just thinking, oh, the app, like something's wrong.
Something wrong with it.
I did learn also that day, like all of these little things like that happen. My brain just like went with it. So it was like, wow, I just trust Anthony, which is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I haven't always been trustworthy, but
Yeah.
I am
So I
today.
thought, oh, okay, must be something wrong with the app. Not he turned his location on. But his mom did call, and then your reaction also, I was like, but I just went with it because normally you call
Normally
your
I get.
mom out.
Normally I'm like, Mom, really?
Yeah,
And that day I was like, okay, well, I'll look at it. I'll see, because I put her up to it. She did not want to, she was like, I don't want to lie to her. And I was like, Mom, it's not, like, it's fine. She's like, I don't want her to think I'm lying to her. She was so sweet.
yeah,
She's like, really? Do you think I should lie to her?
it's fine.
That's sweet.
Okay, so anyway, we went and got coffee. Were you planning on taking me there, or did that just work out because we?
No,
got-
I love Lyft.
I know, but
Oh,
like,
was I planning on taking you to the place?
No, to Lyft because we
Yeah,
had
absolutely.
got asked to do that the night before, so I didn't know.
No,
if that
I was
just
already
went
planning.
to
I was
it.
already planning that.
Anyway, we went to Lyft Coffee
Shameless plug, Lyft Coffee, Ingram, Texas.
and
Christina Holcomb and her team and Corey Barker, they're amazing.
yeah, we went there that morning and we get up to which I think is funny, like, because I had no clue. I'm just thinking like, oh, that's a sweet like little God wink, and you're like thinking that's crazy.
Yeah, we'll tell them what it is.
So when the guy, well, it was a young man. That feels so weird because I'm like, I'm not old enough to be calling somebody a
Young man.
And he's not really a kid, so I don't want to say kid.
No.
Teenager, little teen working behind the counter. His name is Josiah, and that's the name that we plan on using for our first son. So I just thought,
Which is part of our story. Like
Yeah.
one of the things that because God gave us that name separately before we ever even met. And when we were able to confirm, there was actually 2 names that God gave us before we ever met.
yeah, but then before I even told Anthony the names, he was like, well, before you say this, I just want to tell you, like, God's already given me a name, like, kind of like,
Did I say it like that?
yeah, you
wow.
did, like, pretty much, like, that's great that God's...
That's great. It's great
Well,
that God's
not
given you.
Because I didn't say God. I was going to just tell you the names I like.
Oh.
I didn't word it like it was a God thing.
Yeah.
But you're like, before you even tell me this, like, I just need to let you know, like, God's given me a name. That's great that you like those names, but...
This is what I feel like the Lord said.
Okay. So anyways, good thing that that's a name that I also... Anyway. All that to say, see that? Unnecessary.
Kill rabbit.
Yeah, Josiah. So this boy's name was Josiah, and I was just thinking, like, how sweet of God to, like, just do that for us, like, just on a sweet day. Like, isn't that cool?
Yeah, it was literally the day I was going to ask her to marry me, and the guy that's waiting on us in the coffee line, she asks him what his name
I
is.
think he told us, because I was
Did he say?
about-
Oh yeah, because you asked him how old he was.
Yeah, so before that, in my it was because his name was
Josiah.
and then like the Holy Spirit was telling me, like prompting me, ask him how old he is.
And she
I
knew that he was going to say 17.
Because that's my favorite number.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm weird sometimes anyways, so I'm like, that's just such a bizarre question. So I told him, I was like, I know that's kind of weird, but how old are you? And he said, I'll be 17 in a couple weeks. So I was like, I knew you were going to be 17. And I was like, this is so cool that God's like doing that for me. And yeah, Anthony knows that he's about to propose to me, so it's like just
I was like trying to hold it in, like, oh wow, God's really doing stuff today.
Well, just like this kid's character and the way that he carried himself,
such a good kid.
Yeah, I
good
just
kid.
felt like, oh man, I just want to like ask him what we can be praying for, and I felt led to ask him that, but I was just letting it go because I knew like we were just having our coffee. So we go out. Well, he went outside at first, too, but then they went back in, and then we were walking to the truck, and I was like, I gotta go ask him about some prayer requests. So we go back in, and then we had walked past this spot before, but I didn't see this. And there was a penny in the floor, and if you know, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go down that rabbit trail. But I don't, like, I genuinely believe that. You can think I'm crazy. That's fine. But I know that that is possible. Like, sometimes pennies just show up. Like, I don't know that it really was there the first time. But it was, like, just...
I feel like you would have seen it immediately when you... Because she has a natural... She's inclined to constantly look for pennies everywhere we go. And so, like... Her eyes, literally, I watch them everywhere we go. Like she's scanning the ground. So the likelihood of her not seeing it when we were in there before we went back in to pray for him is very unlikely.
So I felt like, yeah, it definitely was supposed to come back in. And we had that moment with him, and then we go get in the truck, and Anthony says, "What do you want to do today?" And I said, I want to go see a pretty place that I've never been before.
Yeah. Take me somewhere pretty that I've never been before. You said, I want to see somewhere pretty that I've never been before. And I had told my sweet future mother-in-law, Dee Dee, I had told her about proposing. And I immediately thought, poor Dee Dee, it's not her fault. But I immediately was like, oh man, Dee Dee told her what I'm doing today. And, but it wasn't. Sharnice really just wanted to go somewhere pretty.
Like that's what the first thing that popped in my head.
That she'd never been before, and that's where I was planning to propose. Because
what do I want to do? Where
I proposed was at the Schoen's family land over in Hunt, and we had just done a worship event there a couple of weeks prior, and Sharnice had FaceTimed me while I was at the worship event, and I was showing her kind of like the landscape, and she's like, wow, it's really pretty. And I thought to myself then, I was like, man, I'd love to bring her back to that spot and actually have Wayne Johnson to think about suggesting that be where I proposed, because I was like, man, I had all these, so I had prior like plans to propose at different times that we just felt like the timing wasn't right, but Wayne had said, you ought to think about the Shones land, and I was like, actually, that's like perfect, because I've thought about that. And so anyway, but that's where I was planning on taking her. And so out of an abundance of caution of not going there immediately first, because I was like, no, I'm going to throw her off, because if she thinks she knows, I'm going to show her she don't know what's going on. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll take you somewhere. And so I took her to this place that I used to have a shop in Ingram, and
show me that area.
And then I showed you the little down on the old Ingram Loop. I showed her that area. We read the historical marker by the Wells Fargo outpost there in Ingram, and then I was like, oh, you know what? Remember that place that you really liked on the phone? I was like, I bet you they're down there working on the land today, because I know they've been doing some work on the property. I said, we can just drop by there, and if they're there, we can maybe stop by and maybe see if they'll just let us walk the property. And she was like, okay. And then I was like, oh, she doesn't. I could pick up. I was like, she doesn't know. And I'm like, oh, she doesn't know. Oh, okay, we're good. Because the way she responded to that, I just knew. Like, I know her well enough to know. I was like,
if I was hiding.
Yeah, I was like, she doesn't know. So Then I was good. I was like, okay, we're good. We're coasting.
So we pull up.
Hey, by the way, if y'all see me doing that a lot, it's because my right ear, it gives me a lot of problems. So if y'all anybody wants to be praying for me, this right ear gives me a whole lot of problems about the pressure. And so when I'm driving to basically anytime I'm driving and changing altitude at all, my ear is constantly popping, and the only way to get it to pop open is to do that. So a lot of people are always like asking me in videos, they're like, why do you do that all the time? And I'm like, they're like, you look like a fish. I know. So if you don't want to see me do that anymore, just pray. That can be your motivation to pray for Anthony. Like, I don't want to watch another one of his videos where he looks like a fish. There you go.
Yeah. So we go out there and we pull up to the property and we get out. We're walking down there casually.
Dan Shonen introduces himself to you like he hasn't seen me in decades. Man, it's been forever. He was really playing the part. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan, for playing the part. Because I had gone down there that morning and said, hey, she doesn't know I've been down here, so just like act cool. And so he was like, hey man, it's been a long time. And as we were walking away, I looked at Sharnice and I was like, it hasn't been that long. Like, it's like he acted like I haven't seen him in years. But he was like, damn, you were committed to the part. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
and thank you for letting us use your beautiful property. Like, that'll forever change our lives, and we're so grateful.
Yeah, super sweet.
Yeah.
So we walked down there, and I was just taking it all in. I immediately thought, wow, I would love, in the sense, of being in nature and doing nothing. Like, there's a really sweet stillness about being in God's creation, of just taking it in and just saying, whoa, look at all of this. That's wild. You can't really, we're driving right now, and, you can see all the trees and stuff, but, you can't really get that same effect as, when you go to a park, and it's, intentionally made to be
just
that way.
There.
Yeah, so, but anyways, that area, just, with the river, and, the fire pit, all the stonework was gorgeous and beautiful, and it was super peaceful. I just thought, wow, I'd love to just come sit right here and just, be and listen to some music or read, and, you would just feel so rested. But I was looking, and then there's a heart in the water from their grandchildren.
Yeah, their grandchildren put that together after the flood.
Rocks, and it was really neat. And then...
And the really cool part about this land, y'all, is that it's right on the river, and it was under 35 feet of water during the July 4th flood. But the place where I proposed, it was it's got St. Augustine grass. It's really pretty. There's a fire pit that was built by the family, and it was virtually untouched by the flood. There were even some flowers down there that were still standing and still had flowers that were in the riverbed, basically in the riverbed. It was crazy.
Yeah,
just how God's hand was all over that.
Whenever I was back home and describing that area to people, I would say unless you go there, it's hard to fully grasp, one, the damage, but two, people who are wrestling with their faith and their beliefs, and you can't go somewhere and see something like that and not think there's something legitimately, things like that don't just happen.
Right.
When you're literally things that are side by side like this, something that's completely destroyed, and then
something that's not,
it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Only God.
Yeah.
Only God.
That was really cool to be able to see, and I think too, just different areas that are still you can see the amount of damage that happened. I think that's just life in general. Even watching this video right now, there's a separation of, that's something I've been very aware of feeling people, not just us, anyone, because we have so much access to each other, but there's not true connection. I could see this, we could all see it on TV, but actually like being somewhere and being rooted there in that area.
It's
and like,
different.
Yeah, it is different. So same thing of, hey, we all need to give people more grace too, because like you can assume things. You can assume things about us just by listening to this conversation.
That's really important. I think that's there's something really on that. Like I really feel like God's on that. Like to just this is just us when like that's kind of who we are. That's what we want to be. We want to be like just ourselves. I'm really, really big on a lot of, like, I tell Sharnice, and I even tell some of my friends, like, that are in some of my music production stuff, like, I've told them, like, I just like to be authentic. I'm really big on not, I want to do everything in excellence, but I don't want to create a false image of anything that, like, I'm doing. I want it to be authentic. But even then, even in me trying to create, like, a very approachable, like, for everyone to feel, everyone that's connected to me to feel like they really get to see, like, what you see is what you get. Even in that, there's still things that, unless you're doing life with me regularly, that you're just not gonna, like, you don't get until you've, and so it's like really important for us to all just grab onto that. And like I did a Waypoint Wednesday not too long about, like, not picking up the whispers, like not coming into agreement with the whispers, like only making decisions or allowing your heart to be moved by what you know to be factually accurate and that you have personally experienced, instead of taking things secondhand or third-hand knowledge. So yeah, I think that's a really great point. Really great point. Yeah.
You've got really great points. Yeah, I think that speaks a lot. We need community, and I think that's something. Yeah. See how this proposal story is now turned into a Bible study.
But
that's being authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's our life.
Literally all the time, like every conversation we have.
I think that's something that I've been really thinking about lately is like God's redirecting my thought process a lot on what ministry looks like. It's not this machine, it's community. And like those, okay, so just in the same way I can watch a video and a sermon, and not one is not greater than the other. We need them both.
Sure.
But like I can watch videos of people and they can be speaking into my life, but like when you know me, and when you speak into my life, like that's going to carry more weight than somebody who's like church famous.
Sure. Yeah.
Saying something that, not that I can't take something that they said and like it be life-changing for me, but like they're not going to come walk alongside of me and be the people that are praying for me, like when I'm having a hard day, or like when life's really hard, like that's very important, like to have like a solid community around you. And I think there's so much disconnection with the way our world just is now. It's like we all see each other on these videos, and like we communicate through technology, and we're less like around each other. Just less common for people to just have conversations with people for real, or like making time, because we're all just so busy.
Well, and I think that's a really that's an important part of like even our proposal story, like, because like Sharnice is very she's very much on intentionality and time together and being intentional in our time together. And I have lived in so many groups of people. Like I tend to gravitate towards like groupings of people, and like I forget the importance of like one-on-one intentional time. But like when we did our proposal, like my original plan when I the first thing I was gonna do was gonna pick her up at the airport, and I was gonna have like this whole entourage of like people waiting in like the baggage claim, and I was gonna have a violinist, and like there was gonna be like a guitarist. I can't remember what I was gonna do.
No guitar. You
I
were
was gonna have
sing
a
with-
Baylor was gonna be I was gonna sing First Love as she like came down the escalator at the San Antonio airport, and I was gonna have a lot of people there, and we were gonna do like this whole like almost like flash mob type thing. And then when I was planning that in my mind and like starting to make phone calls, Sharnice said one day randomly on the phone, she was like, "Oh, and by the way, I don't want, if you ever propose, I don't want to be proposed to in public." And I was like, "Man, call, scratch the plans, like everybody, deals off, we're doing something different." So, but like that's so indicative of like when you spend time together, you begin to pick up on like what's important, truly what's important to one another. But like the way that we were able to do the proposal, like it held a special, like it was a special thing, because we were the only ones there. Like that's why we're having to tell you all the story, because we were the only ones that were there, besides the amazing Bailey Combs and her boyfriend Trey that jumped out of the bushes to capture the photos. So
So that was sweet. Anyways, make sure you have good community.
yeah.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Was also like when you were talking about secondhand knowledge, like knowing God for yourself, and knowing what how we are all different. Yeah, and like all of my relationships, even with like my best friends, are all different. I communicate to them differently. The way that we interact with each other could be similar with certain people, but like this might be my person that I go to about this, and like this person, like we do these things, and like maybe this is my person that we're gonna just do cartwheels down the grocery store aisle. Like, so in that same sense, like God talks to us, yes, in the same way, but uniquely in a way that I can receive it. And I think that's important, of like not having secondhand knowledge in this sense of like, well, this is how God talks to Anthony. So I think too, for us, that's important, because I know, like, does that bear witness with me? Like what you're saying, like I know how God speaks to me. So I don't know, just I don't know, that's what you made my brain go to. I think that's sweet, and that's something that I've talked to my students about in our, like, we do a conditioning and Bible study classes, like knowing God for yourself, and not just your parents' relationship or what they think about something. Like same way that it's like when I really know God, like that's when I'm like, oh, He's with me through all of these things. Same way you can have those intentional people. Yeah, because Scripture means more when I know, like, that's personal to me. And I've seen God show up in this way. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so the river, there was like these steps that went down in the water, and my brain, I was like, wow, this is so beautiful, like how the steps go down. And then there was two spots where it did that. Oh, my hands, like little spiders. And I said out loud, I was like, wow, this would be a really pretty place for pictures. And I was thinking, like, oh, like in the future we should come do some pictures here or something. Little did I know we were going to take pictures there that day. So after I said that, like, I walked to the side where Anthony was wanting me to go.
She literally walked to the exact place where I wanted her to stand. And I said to her, well, why don't you let me get a picture of you? Sit down right there. And so I grabbed my phone, I took a picture, and then I reached behind her, because what she didn't know is that bucket of water was right behind her. She didn't realize that was placed there by me. But there was a towel and a bucket of water, and then underneath the towel and the wash rag was the ring box, which the ring box was made by my brother-in-law Joe. And it had a leather top on it, and it had but a butterfly and a honey pot, which if you know, you know, and like a little honey pot stick. I don't even know, what are those things called?
Honey stir?
Yeah.
Honey stick?
Honey stick.
I don't know.
You know, the ones with the ball and they have
Or
a
if
little
you know
etched, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, if you know, comment. Yeah.
Because I might not remember to look it up.
But it's but that was on the box, and then I got down on one knee, and she said, "Wow, Anthony, this is a really nice surprise," because I can't surprise her. Like, she's so good at figuring out surprises, and God helped me. God was Jehovah Sneaky that day, and he helped me. Jehovah Sneaky partnered with me, and we got in there. And by the way, for those of you that have a religious spirit and are thinking that I say that God's sneaky, that's not what I'm saying at all. I just believe that God sometimes withdraws or keeps things for us that are special. Like sometimes he can like pull a fast one on us.
People who are very just prophetic in nature tend to be inclined to know things.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So he had to like
blind.
yeah, because Sharnice like gets these like the fact that she said, "I want to go somewhere."
Yeah, pretty.
Take me somewhere pretty that I've never seen before. I was like, man, that's her prophetic nature like kicking in. She's seeing something.
But yeah, anyways, we won't go down that rabbit hole. Okay, and then it happened. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Was when you reached behind me to put the phone down, like you were getting the ring. I thought you were like setting up your phone, like you were gonna take a picture, like with a timer, or like a picture of us together. Yeah, out there, and you weren't, and that's what caught me off guard too, because I was like, my brain was thinking one thing was happening, and then you're like down on your knee, and then I know that my brain like just disassociated from my body for a second, because it wasn't Anthony. I saw when my head went like this, I saw Bailey pop up from behind that rock, and she was holding a camera, and I was like, my brain had this moment where I was like, what is happening?
Smile, you're on candid camera.
Yeah, and then it was like, oh, okay, this is life. I was like, what's this random girl with a camera behind?
Surprise, you just got punked.
Yeah.
See those hidden cameras over there?
Yeah.
That was a really special moment.
But then Anthony proposed to me, and he said some things that I don't even really remember, but something about spending his life with me and asking me to marry him. I couldn't quote it back to you because my brain was still like trying to process all of the information that was happening. Yeah, so, but I knew enough that I knew what I was supposed to say. Yeah, I'll do that. No, I do remember. That was the one thing I do remember you saying, was that would I marry you? So I got that.
You got the most important part.
And then he pulled out that bucket, and that is what hit me. It's like that meant more to me than getting a shiny ring. Like, that's sweet and nice, and like, wow, you think I'm that valuable to you? Bought me a ring. It's like, oh, you want to serve me? That's sweet.
Yeah, so I mean, that's exactly what I like envisioned when I thought about washing her feet as my first act as her fiance. I wanted it to be an act of service, like, because it's really easy for us to, I think, sometimes get into this, like, it's not necessarily bad, but it's like a westernized thought process of like, oh, we're engaged now it's all about like love and pictures and pretty, you know, like I mean that's great, but I just wanted to be like, I just wanted a moment where I could humble myself, because I know that like that's something that I've dealt with in my own life, is just allowing God to just bring me to a place of humility, and now like that I've allowed God to like Proverbs 27 was my like go-to verse for all of 2023. Like all of 2023 was Proverbs 27, and it was all about just experiencing the humility of the Lord. And God gave me that while I was at the Upper Room End of Year Conference, from 2022 into 2023. And so like I've worked really diligently and closely with like the Holy Spirit and the Father, like to be intentional about allowing Him to bring me to a place of humility. And so I wanted to partner with Him in that, and like bringing that into my marriage as well. Like I wanted it to be about, you know, bringing myself low instead of it being like, oh wow, I just proposed to you, like make me feel amazing about myself, like tell me how great a guy I am, you know. It was a special moment, and yeah, it was really cool. And then she used the water after we were done. We took pictures, and she actually took the water from that I used to wash her feet, and she poured it over my hands, and so we were able to do like a hand washing ceremony as well. And so I think that's really cool, because like we're being brought together as husband and wife in this covenant that God's building. And you know, she, like I washed her feet as like, and we washed my hands, so it's like we're the hands and feet of Jesus. And like we're not the same person, but we both like it's the hands and the feet of Jesus. Like that's what we want to be in our marriage. And so I just thought it was really special that we were able to bring that into the fact that like my hands were washed, your feet were washed, we're the hands and feet of Jesus. So yeah,
this has nothing to do with anything.
This has nothing to do with anything.
But I find it very interesting how we're so similar but so simultaneously different. Like it's the most interesting thing to me. Like I just sit and think about that sometimes. Like what were you doing, God? Like when you created us? Because sometimes I'm like, wow, we're so much alike. But then there's things about us that we are very
polar opposite.
Yeah, and balance. It's good, but it's
opposites attract.
Yeah, but then I'm like, oh, but we're so weird in the same ways. I think that's what it's like. We're very much the same brand of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you would sit and listen to our conversations at night, that's some of my favorite moments.
We sometimes sit around and just do pretend accents. Like one night I couldn't get a Jersey accent going, so I just kept talking and like doing all kinds of different accents. I think at some point I sounded Australian, and other points I sounded like a Yankee, or like some other times I sounded like a hick. But I finally got there. I finally got the Jersey accent going again. But yeah, that's our proposal story.
Yeah, and then we had pictures.
Yeah. And this is just us.
Yeah, we have so many things, like I forget, I was telling, when did I say that? Yesterday. I don't know, but I was saying like if everyone knew like the little details of like moments that will happen at our wedding, that's literally like reality television type of content.
Yeah.
Yeah. If people knew like the backstories of some of the things that will be happening, it's like wild. Like people would eat that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of intent. Like God's just given us.
Not even things that we're doing, just like
things that are happening in our lives. Yeah, no, there's, like the way, like people that are showing up. Like, it's just, it's crazy. Like this is, it's just us.
This is just us.
This is just us. So that's our story. That's our first episode of This Is Just Us. And I'm actually going to be dropping her off at the airport so she's flying to West Virginia, driving then from West Virginia to Pennsylvania. Actually, she's flying to Ohio. Yeah. And then she's driving from Ohio to Pennsylvania to pick me up at the airport tomorrow so that we can go visit Dan and Megan Moeller, shameless plug to the Moeller family, to spend my once or usually twice a year I try to go spend a week with the Moellers, because Dan's one of my bestest friends, and They have one of my favorite tiny humans. Well, right now she's my favorite little tiny human. So I'll have my own tiny humans, and then she won't be able to be my only favorite tiny human. But,
and then she'll be a bigger human.
She'll be a bigger human
by the time you have tiny humans.
I know, it's crazy. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. I'm at the airport. We're going to be dropping her off. I'm literally pulling in the departure lane right now. So we love you guys. We pray that God does amazing things in your life. We also pray that every prodigal in your life returns home in the coming days. And we want you to remember that prodigals aren't projects. They're long-awaited miracles. So we'll see you guys soon.